Hello and welcome to the Time Is Always Now podcast. My name is Terence Young. I am your host of this podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping people get past their excuses, helping people get past the saying they don't have enough time, or or it's not the right time to do this or do that. It's always the right time because the right time is always now. The time is always now. So today, in today's podcast, I'm going to go over some things that we talked about today. I had an amazing day, first of all. My day started out with going to First Unity Spiritual Campus, one of my spiritual communities that I enjoy going to, and had a great service out there. They had a great performer by the name of Alex Harris. There's a great song out called Millionaire. So if you know of that or heard of it, or go check it out. The song is called Millionaire. Amazing singer, amazing performer, so really, really cool. Great message by Reverend Temple Hayes, as always, as well as the other reverends at the community. So I love that energy that comes from First Unity Spiritual Campus. Love being there. However, after I left there, I got an opportunity to do a podcast. So I was a guest on the Tracy Johnson podcast today. And we had an amazing time. I got an opportunity to share a lot about my book, about my life. We talked about everything. We talked about running, about love, about passion, about my journey to 10 years of being sober. Just a lot of things were covered. And so stay tuned for the Tracy Johnson podcast. Should be up soon, maybe in 2 to 3 days or so. It should be up. So I'm excited for it to come out. I'm excited to listen to it again myself. I certainly enjoyed being a part of it. Shout out to Tracy for inviting me onto your podcast. And one of the things that we talked about was this. We talked about, how do you find your passion? How do you find your passion? And it's great that we got on that subject, because I teach about this. I have a workshop that I give. It's called The 3 Keys to Finding Your Passion and Living It Right Now. And I always focus on that. Anything that I talk about, any idea that I express, I'm always going to infuse it with that now, that opportunity, or that knowing that you have to do it now, move forward now. Remember, NOW stands for no opportunities wasted. Don't let that opportunity waste. It's interesting, we were having a conversation after the service today. I was speaking with another gentleman, and he mentioned, we got on the subject of Michael Jackson. He said Michael Jackson would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because he had a song idea, and he called his producer to do it right then. And the producer was like, well, why don't we just wait until the morning? And Michael Jackson was like, no, we can't wait until the morning. Because if I wait until the morning, Prince might do it, or somebody else. And that's the kind of concept I'm thinking about. That's the way Michael Jackson thought. Because if I don't do something with this God-given idea, ability, whatever you want to call it, if I don't do something with it now, then it's going to be given to someone else. If you don't do something with the passion that you have, with the God-given ability that you have, then that's going to be moved to someone else, because you're not using it. You have to use it. You have to cultivate it all the time. No opportunities wasted, and you got to do it, and do it now to the best of your ability. So it's great that we got on that, Tracy and I got on this subject, because we're talking about, how do you find your passion? And I think it's a great subject. So I want to share with you on today's podcast, how you find your passion, or at least a way to get to how you find your passion. As always, I want to remind you, if you want to donate to the cause, by all means, you can always go to my website. You can always go to the blog as well, and you can donate to help me continue to do what I do by giving these encouraging messages, and encouraging and inspiring and motivating people to transform their lives for the better. If you want to give, by all means, go to the website, terenceyoungnow.com, and you can certainly do that. Now, on to today's podcast. How do you find your passion? It's very key. There are 3 distinct things that you must do. 3 things you must have in order to know what a passion is, and you can have many. A lot of people will teach that You can only have one passion. I don't believe that at all. I know for a fact I've had more than one. But there's three things. I'm going to go through them one by one on how you can find your passion. If you found your passion, God bless you. That's an amazing thing. And you should be living that passion, and you know what it feels like. We talked about that today. If you're living in your passion, you know exactly what it feels like. And there's a difference in just going to work versus living in your passion. It's what did Simon Sinek say? It's a great quote he said once. He said, going to work for something you don't care about is called stress. But going to work for something that you love is called passion. That's good. Let's say that one again. Going to work for something that you don't care about is called stress. Going to work for something you love is called passion. Ain't that the truth? So powerful and so truthful. So here we go. Step one. There's three of them. I'm going to give you the first step right now. If you're taking notes, write them down. First step. It's very simple. Find something you love to do. You thought it was going to be complicated? No, it's not complicated. Find something you love to do. Right? If you love it, you'll do it naturally. I use Michael Jordan as an example. Clearly, Michael Jordan loved basketball, right? He loved it so much. He was an amazing player, one of the greatest of all time. But most people don't know this, but Michael Jordan was also like a 9-time Defensive Player of the Year, or at least on the all defensive team in the NBA. But defense is hard work. With all that offensive talent, you would think that why would he work so hard on defense? You know, back in the day, in the old days in the NBA, there was no such thing as a two-way player because you played both ends of the court anyway. Nowadays, they have this new thing where they call people two-way players. Well, this guy plays on both sides of the court. Well, basketball is designed that way anyway. Of course, you're supposed to play on both sides of the court. It doesn't make any sense. But yes, Michael Jordan was one of the best defensive players in the league, and most people don't recognize that. So the question is, why do you work so hard at it? I mean, clearly he didn't have to because he could score on anybody. He averaged 30 points a game, and he won 6 championships. He was an amazing player. He worked so hard on defense because he loved the game. He just loved the game. So it didn't matter whether he's scoring buckets or blocking shots, blocking buckets. He loved the game so much. He was so passionate about it that he wanted to dominate every area of the game. He wanted to be unstoppable in every facet of the game. What is that for you? Find something you love to do. Really love to do. So how do you find that, right? Here's a question. How do you find something you love to do? Most people think it's easy. Well, it's not really that easy because here's a question for you. I want to give you some questions to help you find it. You got to do this on your own, but I'm just giving you some ideas. Get some action going in your life. What do you do when nobody's watching? Hey, think about that for a second. When nobody's watching, when you're alone and there's nothing going on, but you decide to do something, what is it? We all have it too. There's always something. It's you might draw, you might write, you might do a podcast. I don't know. You may play music. Maybe you pick up your guitar or sit down at your keyboard or your piano. What is it that you do when nobody's around? Here's a good question for you. What what topics excite you when you hear other people talking about it? You ever been in a conversation where people are talking about something, and it's a group of people, but they're talking about something you're really not interested in. But then immediately they say something you're interested in. Have you ever literally felt the energy in your body change because they were talking about a subject that you were passionate about? First they're talking about politics, and you don't really care much about politics, but boom, they started talking about veganism, and you're passionate about veganism, and wow, it just takes off. You can feel it. Immediately, you jump into the conversation, and you're all over it. That's because you love that. You're into it. You're interested in it. This is what you need to find in your life. The first step, find something you love to do. How do you do that? Ask yourself the question, what do I do when nobody's watching? What's your muse? How do you get lost in something. You ever been doing something and you lose track of time? I can share this with you really quickly. When I'm getting ready for a talk and I sit down, I may have my Bible, I may have a couple of books out, I'll be maybe looking on the internet, I can literally lose track of time. 2 or 3 hours can go by and I wouldn't even recognize it. It's like a snap of a finger. Because I'm totally engrossed in what I'm doing because it's a passion of mine. I love to do it. Ask yourself, what are you doing when you completely lose track of time? That's something you love to do. So key number 1, to finding your passion and living it now, find something you love to do. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is this. Find something you would do for free. Ooh, that sounds easy, right? Or maybe not so easy. Find something you do for free. Remember, in order for it to be a passion, it's got to meet all 3 of these criteria. Find something you love to do. And find something you do for free is the second one. So you got 2 of them right now. I haven't given you the third one yet, but you got 2. The second one is this. Find something you do for free. How do you find that? Well, same thing. Ask yourself some questions. How do I find something I do for free? Well, what do you volunteer for? That's a great question to ask. Do you volunteer for the basketball, coach the basketball team, coach the baseball team, whatever the case may be? Tennis, I don't know. Do you bake for the school bake-off? Do you make cookies? What do you volunteer for? Where are you volunteering your time to help the next candidate because you're so passionate about helping the next presidential candidate or Congress or whatever the case may be? What do you volunteer for? Because you're doing this for free. You're volunteering your time, right? That's a passion. That's a passion, right? I run marathons. One of the things that I do. Not only do I not get paid to run marathons, I pay to run them. I just got back from Houston. That cost me about $1,000 to go to Houston to get to the room and the flight and then the time and everything it takes to do that. I'm passionate about running, so I don't even think about it. I do it for free. I do it for free and then I pay to do it. Talk about being passionate about something. What is it that you do for free? You love to do it, you do it for free. You don't need anybody to pay you, you do it anyway. I'm going to ask you a great question. Most people say they love their job. Most people say that. Not everybody. I know some people that don't will come right out and tell you they don't. But most people say they love their job. I got a question for you. It's a powerful question. You don't have to answer it out loud. Answer it to yourself. If you could receive the money from your job for the next 20 years, but you didn't have to go to work to get it, would you still go to your job every single day? Simple question. I'm asking it again. If you could get the money, receive the money for your job, but you don't have to go for the next 20 years, but you get the money still, would you get up and go? Don't answer that to me. Just answer that. I'm going to put that in the show notes. When I post it to the blog, if you want to answer there, you can. Or if you want to just comment on it, you can. If you could leave your job and still receive the money, would you go? You want to say you love your job? Answer that question. Then you'll know whether you love your job or not. That's when you'll know. So find something you love to do and find something you do for free. For free. That's the second one. Okay, third one is this. This one's powerful. And remember, it has to meet all 3 criteria to be a passion that you can go for in your life. Number 1 is what? Find something you love to do. Number 2 is what? Find something you do for 3. Now here we go. Number 3. This is the money one right here. Find a way to serve others in doing it. It's got to meet all 3 of these criteria. Something you love to do, something you do for free, and something that you can serve others in doing. How do you find out what that is? Same thing. Ask yourself some questions. What is it in my life that I'm serving others in doing? And I wasn't asked to do it, I just do it. I'll share with you, I'm passionate about running, as you know. I used to, I don't have it anymore, but I used to have a running group, the Temple Terrace running group. I was sharing my passion of running and helping other runners get ready for 5Ks and 10Ks and half marathons and marathons, all while helping myself too, because I was running, I was getting prepared for it, but I was so excited about it because I just wanted to help other runners too. I was serving others. I love to do it. I did it for free. No one paid me to do it. And I was serving others. Running is a passion of mine. What's a passion of yours? Now I speak. I'm passionate about speaking. It's the same thing. The exact same thing. I love to do it. I do it for free. And I'm serving others. When I go out and I speak, when I do a workshop, when I do a seminar, when I just do a talk, I have the most amazing conversations where I'm able to empower, where I'm able to encourage, or even just listen for someone to talk to me and share their story with me. And they'll share with me how when I shared my story with them, it helped them. Or it helped their son, or it helped their daughter, or whatever the case may be. I'm serving others. And here's the great thing about it. When you are in alignment with your source, when you are in alignment with the thing that God put you here to do, when you are in alignment with the passion in your life, people will pay you to do it. It will happen. Now, do you have to work on it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, running is a passion of mine. I still got to work on it. Speaking is a passion of mine. I still work on it and cultivate it and work to get better at it. And the money will come. What is the passion you have in your life? Don't worry about people paying you for it now. Just find out what it is. 3 criteria. Something you love to do. Something you would do for free. And something where you're serving others. Those are the 3 keys to finding your passion. And then you got to start living it right now. The only reason that people don't live it right now is very simple. It's fear. It's fear, right? Fear. We all deal with fear. We all deal with fear. There's people will say this all the time. Fear means 2 things. Fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. One or the other. Fear everything and run. You can run and turn the other way, or you can rise to the occasion. You can rise to the occasion and say, I'm not going to let this beat me. Remember, fear and faith are the same thing. I love teaching on this because it's so powerful. If you haven't heard this before, you got to hear this. Fear is believing in something that hasn't happened yet. That's all it is. You're fearing something, but it hasn't happened yet. You're in fear of what might happen. Faith is believing in something that hasn't happened yet. They're the same thing. So each and every day we get to choose. Each and every day we get to choose. Are we going to live in fear, or are we going to live in faith? It's up to us. I love the fact that we get a choice every single day. We get a choice. Am I going to live in fear, or am I going to live in faith? Which one is it? It's up to you. It's up to us. I say live in faith. Live in faith. Right? Live in faith. The Bible says you got faith the size of a mustard seed. And you say to that mountain, move. From here to there, that mountain shall move, and nothing shall be impossible for you. Nothing. Live in faith. You know that God is in you. We know that God is in every single situation that we're in. God's in the highs, God's in the lows, God's in everything in between. Each and every person, each and every individual, each and every circumstance, God's in it all. So there's no need to fear. There's no need to worry. Just move. Continue to move with it. Continue to flow with it. Continue to experience it and understand it's all a part of life. It's all a part of the flow of life. That's the way it's supposed to be. Right? We all love the statement, it is what it is. But most people forget the second half to that statement. It is what it is, and it will be what I make of it. That's the most important part. Let me say that one again. It is what it is, and it will be what I make of it. What are you making of what's going on in your life right now? What are you making of the next circumstance? What are you making of the next interaction? What are you making of the next goal that you have? Are you building a big mountain and saying it's all fear and you can't do it? Are you waiting on the right time to do it? Or are you saying, I'm going to live in faith. I know God's in it. And if it's for me to climb that mountain and get to the peak and move on from there, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm moving forward. Regardless of the circumstances, I'm going to move forward in spite of the fear. That's how you live in your passion. 3 keys to finding your passion. That's the key to today's podcast. 3 keys to finding your passion. Find something you love to do. Find something you would do for free. And third, find something that you can serve others. You can do that. You overcome fear and move forward in spite of the fear. Then you can honestly say, I own the now and I have won. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today, to speak with you today on the podcast. I appreciate you following. I want you to share this podcast with anyone that you know. Share it. Post it out there. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Twitter. Everything you can to get the word out. I want to empower. I want to inspire. I want to magnify these words so the whole world can get this message that we are not waiting to live in our passion. We're living in our passion right now. Thank you again. I look forward to seeing you again next week on the podcast. It's TY. Remember, the time is always now.